Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play as we dive on into Elite Zoo North yet again to accomplish quite a few tasks. I'm feeling really good about how things are starting to kind of, again, air quotes, wrap up with Elite Zoo North. We got 5 stars, our inspections are going well, the animals are happy overall, lots of, loose ends are being tied up, our conservation credits are visually compelling numbers. I'm feeling really good, in all honesty, and I'm really excited for what I've got planned today. So as we dive in, nervously clicking the resume button to make sure we don't close the zoo instead. Just want to mention, as always, folks, if you've been enjoying this series and you want to see it continue, please don't hesitate to keep letting me know. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below. It makes such a big difference, in full honesty. The reason why Planet Zoo continues is because of your continued engagement and entertainment. It really makes a massive difference. I really can't stress it enough. I will address a couple of things from the comments today. Lots of little management things I want to do, but we will be kicking things off with a time lapse more or less right at the start, as we've been doing for the last couple of sessions. So a little bit of, hopefully a massive leap with our time lapse, and then a fair bit of management stuff to do afterwards. Stuff that we didn't get to do last session, but hopefully we can do this session. And I want to mention as well, with regards to some of the comments, if you are interested in, becoming an animal sponsor or staff member or whatever in Elite Zoo South, we will be continuing that same tradition of ours. I like it a lot. I feel like it really integrates us, and it creates very interesting opportunities. Obviously, we're going to be starting with fewer staff, so it'll take us some time to get up to speed there, but in terms of, and animals as well. But, we'll make it work. We'll figure out a good flow for it, and I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for, I'm really excited for the future of this Let's Play in general, whether it's Elite Zoo South or North. I'm feeling really good about how North has been wrapping up. And there was a comment, actually, if I sound more positive than usual, I'm a typically positive person, I like to think, but if I sound more positive than usual, it's because there was one particular comment last session that struck a chord, which was along the lines of, I'm not going to quote it precisely, but it was along the lines of, when you first mentioned we were going to move to Elite Zoo South, or we're going to move to a new zoo, I was very worried, and I was like, no, it can't be, we can't do that. But now, as time has gone on and we've started wrapping some things up, I feel more comfortable and ready to move on. It was along those lines. That's the sentiment that I got, at least. That's how I understood it. And I haven't tried to hide it. I've been feeling that way as well. It's just like it feels so strange to, leave all this behind, even momentarily, and dilute our attention and our love. But it's true, as we've been completing some of the little details and wrapping up and tying up some of these loose ends, I certainly feel a lot more ready to divert our attention. I don't want to imply that we're done with Elite Zoo North, but it, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we've made some great progress these last couple of sessions. I also want to point out that one of the things I was really nervous about is the fact that we haven't added animals in a long time. And there's a chance that we won't add any more animals to Elite Zoo North until after Elite Zoo South is already open, right? Because we are still coming back here. And I was very nervous about that, because there was a time when, in the comments, the vast majority, the overall sentiment was that I need to add animals more often, like a new animal a day or a new animal every other day. And I find what ended up happening was I was trying so hard to do that, because, again, I read through the comments for feedback, and I tried to, apply that. And I was trying to add, it got to a point where I was trying to add an animal every other day. And I think it led to a lot of these gaps that we now are filling up. And it led to a bit of, I don't want to say fatigue on my end, but it led to maybe a slight sense of disconnect or something with some of the animals, because we didn't get the time to appreciate the spaces we built for them. But then you look at something like Formosan Falls, where we spent a bit more time, and it's just like, this was, we've come here how many times? We've come in for beauty passes, we've come in for slight adjustments, and it's one of my favorite enclosures. I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just wanted to touch on that. There were a couple of comments that hit some notes. I think that I was maybe subconsciously concerned about. So feeling really good, and hopefully today's session goes well. I'm really excited for what I've got planned. I know we've taken our time with the RUSHIN village that we'll be building. You could say you could say I wasn't Russian. But I've got a good plan for it. I've got some good references, and I'm fully excited to get that going. But there's a couple of other things that we need to get going as well. We need to wrap up our Southeast Asian marketplace, our East Southeast Asian, because like this is our Southeast Asian marketplace, I guess, and then this is our East Southeast Asian. It's so weird. I couldn't even. I was like, where to go? Right, all the trees are covering it. Anyway, folks, we're going to go ahead and get our time lapse started more or less right away. Again, we're going to spread this stuff. Which one was it? One of these has been fixed. One of these has been almost fixed, right? Was it? Yeah. This one's been fixed, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one around, and we're going to get this building done up as well, make this into one building. There is a little bit of work I'd like to do at Formosan Falls further. There are the stores that are tucked away. So I'll do that really quickly, and then I'll dive into that. Or maybe I'll dive into that first so we see some progress there. Also, actually, before we dive into this time-lapse, because I will likely implement the name up over here during this time-lapse. Might actually kick it off with that. I apologize for misleading many of you. I thought the polling was going to go away on the 5th of June. It's actually going away on the 10th of June. You know, easy numbers to get mixed up. So my apologies. I did end up having an eye at the top right corner of the screen where you could vote. And initially I was like, oh, you know what? I fear that too many people missed it and the voting isn't going to be accurate. But it seems like only a handful of votes got missed. Looking at the number of total votes, it looks like most of you did manage to get your votes in. And it's also a massive gap. There is a very clear leader. And on top of that, the clear leader is also, well, it touches on a very interesting point that I'll get into during the time lapse. Folks, hope you are all ready, because I certainly am, question mark? Well, we'll find out. It's time lapse time. All right, folks, really quite happy with this one. We accomplished a fair bit in a few spots, and just feeling overall like a lot of progress is being made lately. I ramble about that for a bit after. Maybe I already did it before the time lapse. Nonetheless, moving on from that conversation. The name of this enclosure, winning by a mile and a half, winning by the length of the trail itself, is Tundra Trail. A very good point was made that from that trail you can actually see the polar bears as well. And again, it was also winning massively, and then plus on top of that was the added justification, and so Tundra Trail it is. I did completely forget to actually rename the enclosure, so, you know, we'll have to do that, because why do everything all at once, right? Why not separate it over multiple steps? But yes, I need to go in and actually rename the actual enclosure. But it is what it is. Tundra Trail, I like it. It's got the alliteration, goes with our Tiger Terrace as well, and it does touch on the location a bit nicely. And I think, you know, if you were to get a map of the zoo, that place would be marked as Tundra Trail right next to... I like it on many levels. It's always hard to pick names, and I'm glad that polling is an option. And even when YouTube decides to get rid of the poll option, I have a solution. Don't worry, I will still continue to take your opinions through comments as well as polls. It'll just be in a slightly different format, but it will work, fear not. Now, went ahead and fixed up all the buildings that had issues, I suppose I should maybe call them. So that's all good. Now we're just going to build this double building over here. Nothing too wild, nothing too complicated, but I wanted to make sure it was at least a little bit different, and I wanted to make sure that I came at it with like a fresh mind. So we'll still obviously be pulling our old building pieces because it's still the same aesthetic and all, but just reformatting it a bit. And I actually end up doing something which maybe is a little bit cheeky, but nothing wrong with a little bit of cheek, right? I'll explain that when we get to it though. But yeah, relatively simple, but a little different because I didn't want it to just be the same thing over and over again. I reference it again later as well, but I think what makes Bankrupt Night Market stand out so much is that it is so different. There are different roofs, there are different shapes, there are different sizes, there are different connections. It's different. I need to try and stay focused on that. You can see, for example, over here, we're connecting these two shops together to make it look like one big building as opposed to separate buildings. And we actually go ahead and add an education board in here, and perhaps somewhat ironically, it is an education board about deforestation. Now, I just want to clarify, in my head, whenever we make something out of bamboo or wood, like architecture, in my head, it's got to be like fiberglass or something, because otherwise it is absolutely hypocritical to be like, oh yes, look at how these animals suffer because of deforestation. Look upon this log cabin where we're educating you about deforestation. No, it's got to be biodegradable plastics or something, right? There's got to be some explanation. Bamboo is one of the primary construction materials in this part of the world, or in that part of the world. This, that, you know what I'm getting at, though. And it is, as with construction material anywhere, it is a problem. Whether it's wood or it's bamboo wood or it's just the space we take up. So it's an interesting topic of conversation, and I feel like the deforestation conversation, while standing next to something which is arguably a symbol of deforestation, is poignant, I would say. So, yeah, it was brought up in the comments as well. It's just like, oh, kind of funny. It's like, I agree, it is kind of funny, but at the same time, I have to believe that in-game, these aren't actual bamboo pieces, because that doesn't make any sense. That seems very counter to what the game is going for, which is this whole conservation thing, right? But then again, it's like, what else do you do? It's like everything is a problem at some, well, not everything, but many things are a problem at a certain point, right? Even putting down a brick building, there's, as far as sustainability is concerned, there's a lot of issues. We often, I'm going to go on a rant here, I know it, but we often ignore the long tail of consequences. We often go, well, hey, this is a better construction material because it's not as bad for the environment, we're not cutting down trees. But then we don't go, well, hold on a second, but the other construction material is easier to make and causes less pollution and is available locally. Like, there's a lot of, like, that kind of nuance and stuff that I find is often overlooked with these conversations. They're hard conversations to have because it's hard to, there are no universal truths when it comes to what works. It's different based on where you are and the environment and what's available locally versus what needs to be imported. Anyway, I'm going on a complete tangent over here. Point being, I thought it would be interesting to talk about deforestation among trees near buildings which are built to look like they are encased in bamboo. Okay, moving on from that. I was very enamored by a lot of the references I saw with the Russian village. Now, to be specific, I was looking at Siberian villages, and what I really liked is there was this connection I saw. I don't know if this was like across Russia, so feel free to inform me, right? But there was this connection I saw between this Siberian village imagery that I was seeing and the Maritimes of Canada. If you see pictures of St. John's or even of, I mean, gee, if you take look at pictures of Halifax and stuff, you're going to see very vibrant, famously vibrant buildings, I would say. It's very iconic. And I saw that in some of these Siberian references I was looking at. There was a lot of that similar, like different materials, but similar aesthetic. And I was also thinking about just like in a lot of cultures that are primarily in the desert, things are very colorful and vibrant. Clothes, buildings, whatever it might be, very vibrant. And I just thought it was interesting to see, like, if you're in Siberia, while it's not like the desert and tundra have one thing in common, and it is the blandness. Whether you're in the Sahara or you're up in Siberia, the blandness is a common trait. And so these bright colors, I think, from my understanding, is just a little spark of joy. So I was very surprised at what I was seeing, actually. And so it took me a little while to get to this point, because it was a lot of indecision on my part. It's like, well, what do I want? Do I want this like traditional, old-fashioned, log cabin looking thing, or do I want to go with some of this vibrance? And at the end of the day, the ultimate decision maker was that the log cabin look is kind of our core look, right? That's what it looks like near the wolves and stuff. We've already got that going, so why not let's embrace this? Calling it unique is strange because it does exist in other parts of the world, but it is unique in that it's a surprise, I guess, is the way to put it. But yeah, I was seeing like these like teals, this like, I mean, I would call this is like mint chocolate chip colored, right? Pinks, a lot of color variation and vibrance. So was very happy with that. I was very pleased with the references I found and trying to replicate them, found all the pieces I needed. Now I will admit right off the bat, as you're seeing this, I do not complete the village today. And I'm quite glad I don't, because while I was building it, I was so like enthralled. I was just like, oh yeah, this is looking great. This is so much better than I'd initially anticipated. I was so like engaged in the construction process. And on top of that, I was definitely feeling like the recording for an hour straight in complete silence is a very strange feeling, and I was starting to feel it at this point. But I loved it. I was having so much fun. But after the time lapse, I kind of do one of those hindsight 2020 moments, and I go, oh, you know what? This needs a lot more work. So I'm glad we don't complete everything today, because otherwise I'd have to rework more things. But yeah, the hesitation you saw with the roof there was that I wasn't sure. Looking at my references, I wasn't sure if I was looking at corrugated sheet. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. I wasn't sure what I was looking at, but I do believe it was corrugated sheet metal, which we've got over here. Honestly, I was very surprised at what I saw and how it all came together, and it's always fun for me. That's a source of joy for me, is being surprised and then trying to figure out how to execute it. And I think overall the look is being met. It's just a matter of the overall... my issue is with the overall layout of the area. And I thought, after having found all my references, I thought, you know what, that's not going to be an issue anymore. I was wrong. I'm not ashamed to admit when I'm wrong, and that was certainly me being wrong. So we will be revisiting the overall shape of the area, like how the paths are laid out and everything. But the front over here, we changed things up a little bit, so we still have that nice green, I think, in parts, but we do want to get that pink in there. This is one specific reference image I found, and I was just like, well, this is interesting. It's not at all what I would expect from you know, this part of the world. I guess it's a weird thing to say. It's like there are certain parts of the world where I expect certain colors to be used, and the frigid north is not somewhere where I expect vibrant pinks and teals and greens. I don't mean Russia. I mean the cold north. That's what I mean. Just to clarify. I mean, you look at the Kremlin, like vibrant colors is not foreign to Russia, right? But it's Siberia specifically. I don't know. I was very pleased. Unfortunately, some of the pieces didn't work exactly how I wanted them to, and they're only available in certain sizes. Once again, just making the argument for allowing us to scale pieces, just saying. But yeah, we complete this one building. I believe I duplicate the structure over to the other side as well, because we have another pair there. I like building this little village neighborhood kind of a thing, but yeah, it does need to be restructured and rebuilt a little bit. We're a little too simple, a little too minimal. It needs to feel like a proper, like a ski village, you know, not huge, but it feels like you're actually in a lived-in space. This does not. Had to make some adjustments over here, unfortunately, because of the things not lining up, but that's okay, not a big problem. We sort that out pretty easily. But this is where the time-lapse gets called today, because I was definitely starting to feel it. I was like, you know what, I need to regroup on this, and again, I'm so glad that I did. But folks, this is where we call it a time-lapse. I hope you enjoyed what we've progressed on so far, but let me know down below. All right, folks, we got a bit of a start going there. Pretty happy with what we've got down so far, but I did have to cut that time lapse at that mark. As much as I'd like to get more done in it, I am working with some time constraints, unfortunately, so I hope you all understand. There's just a little bit left to go over here, but I think, you know what, I do think, now that I look at it, and again, hindsight, always 2020, that's why I like to stay in the time lapse for a limited amount of time, pop out of it so I can start thinking through my thoughts, speaking through my thoughts, because it does result in some changes. I like how things are looking overall, but you know what? I just realized it's still looking kind of plain. And even once we get like more of these coverings down, it'll be a little different for this one and for the toilet block as well. Once we get those down, it'll still look a little plain. Need to do something, need to do a lot more actually. So yeah, I'm glad for two reasons now that I stepped away from that time lapse. One, time constraints. Two, needs more work. Needs a fair bit more work. We'll work on it though. I'm going to chip away at it. It's good to take our time with some things, right? Again. Yeah, there's a Russian joke in there again. Listen, point being, we're gonna regroup on this, and I think next session we'll continue to build on this. I think I need to restructure it. I mentioned it a couple times, and going into it, I found references that I really liked. So going into it, I was like, yeah, we don't need to restructure. This is great, but now having applied those references, like, you know what, we still do. We'll work on it though. I'm not too. I'm happy with the aesthetic that we've got going on. Very surprised by some of the references that I pulled, and I'm sure I talked about that in the time lapse. So I don't want to belabor the point anymore right now. But definitely more work to be done over there before I get to a point where I'm satisfied with it. Again, if the bar is Bankrupt Night Market, then our little Siberian village right now is nowhere near the mark. I mean, this is alive, this is busy, there's so much going on, there's maybe too much going on, and I think that's what brings it to life, right? And we've got different sections as well. That's the other important aspect over here, is we've got the market section, we've got the dock, and we've got the viewing area. With the Siberian village that we're trying to build over here, we've got, if I can just get my camera moving faster, we've kind of got shops, walkway. I need to what's the word I'm looking for? Further, like, exaggerate the situation. I think I need more of these buildings, even if people aren't going to use them. I think I need more shops. I think I need this to be bigger. And I think if we make this station into its own little building, like, I don't want to say guardhouse because that sounds like I'm making a joke, and I'm not. But it's what comes to mind as like a tall wooden structure. The first thing that comes to my mind is, you know, someone with a historical inclination and a lover of strategy games and stuff. A watchtower is the first thing that comes to mind. Not exactly what I'm going for, but I think that would tie this area together a bit. I think it's wild how long this has actually taken me to kind of come to terms with, but I guess, hey, that's the creative process sometimes, right? I'm glad we've I'm glad we started putting pieces down and started seeing the color and vibrance of that area, because one of my biggest concerns at the beginning was that it would be bland. Anyway, sorry, I keep focusing on it. It's tough because the time-lapse audio is recorded after the session is done, and I'm so full of things I want to talk about right after I work on it, but when I record afterwards, I'm probably going to repeat myself. I try not to, but it does become tough. Anyway, let's get to working on some of the management stuff that needs doing. Again, one quick thing with the flamingos over here. I was told I've put the glass down the wrong way somewhere over here. I don't think I have, because we want the flamingo to be able to not look in, right? But the guests should be able to look through. So that's what we've got going on over here. So this glass section is all good. On the other side, same thing. We want the guests to be able to look in, but the flamingos should not be able to look out. So the glass section over here is fine. Over here. There we go. There it is. Perfect. Thank you all for, again, pointing it out. Quite a few of you noticed this one, and I missed it. That is, again, just further evidence that I do, in fact, read through all the comments. I don't just say that. Yeah, so we're good over here. And again, we'll see if that makes a difference. If not, I will go with the nuclear solution. I actually got a great variant of the nuclear solution being provided. What we'd do is we would split this in half. I don't know which half would become the enclosure, probably the top half, just because it's got a more interesting shape. It's got the water and everything. So yeah, the top half would be the enclosure, and the bottom we just make it into a garden, so we could actually get all the trees back, all the fountains back, make it all dolled up again, and that should do the trick. Now, actually, it was also pointed out, I forgot to do this now, so let's go ahead and get rid of these screening plants because we no longer need them. We've got the glass barrier, the one-way glass barrier, so the screening plants are no longer worth anything. Let's go ahead and get rid of them because, again, we're a little bit on the high side for vegetation for these, for the flamingos. So let's go ahead and sort that out. It's so funny seeing the range of comments I get with regards to the flamingos, ranging from, oh, we're so close, we can figure it out, to, oh man, just forget about it, to, no, we need to figure it out, to, you know, do the nuclear option. This is like, it's funny to see. Not like funny good, neither good nor bad, funny neutral, just interesting to see. We'll keep these screening plants over there. These ones we can get rid of as well. I mean, I like the challenge, but at times it's just kind of like, I wish it would more clearly communicate what the issue is. Some of you are suggesting that maybe after all this, it's actually just a matter of the space is too big, and when they're on their own, they start to get stressed out because they require a hefty adult population. But I don't think that's, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. We'll keep an eye out, see if there's any particular animal that's overly stressed, and check on them. But at one point, we're going to have to accept that what we have done is fundamentally not working, just like what we did with the tortoises, right? At one point, we accepted, quote-unquote, defeat, as it were. Oh, wow. What a cutie. Looking like a croissant over here. Both of... Oh my god, this is adorable. Lately, our little rabbit has been lying down in this curved shape as well. We often call her a baguette or a loaf, because you know the shapes they make when they lie down. But lately she's been lying down with this little curve going on, and so now she's She's graduated to croissant. And from the top down, even though Buddy's sitting down, from the top down, definitely looks like that curve. And Buddy's standing up as well. Sorry, completely distracted there. Right, so just like we would with the tortoises, we kind of went all out, just dismantled everything, accepted defeat, and reworked it. And, you know, to great effect, we might need to do that over here as well. Get rid of the walkthrough, keep the path in the same spot, but just split the enclosure. And it's an easy fix as well. Just got to connect a couple of spots. We'll be fine. It's the direction I would rather not take, which is why I held on so long to this. Just like I did with the tortoises as well. I held on for so long. But ultimately, at the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta accept. You gotta accept change, like our donation bins do. Oh my God! Look at the amount of money these things are making. Look at the money these things are making. So much money, honestly. With the Elite Zoo South, I might want to start with a walkthrough flamingo enclosure, right? Actually, we do have to figure out what the what that. I mean, it's wild. I've got so much going on in my head in terms of like what's next, especially with kicking off our upcoming zoo. One of the initial thoughts I had was like, oh, it'd be great to start with lions because, you know, kind of iconic, I would say. But then it was pointed out to me in the comments just several episodes ago that lions are extremely expensive to feed, and we're only going to start with, what, 40K, I believe, to put all the facilities down. Everything needs to be put down with 40K, and we have to be able to sustain the animal and make a profit. And we might go bankrupt right at the beginning. So Elite Zoos, we have to be careful. We can't necessarily start with the lions, but I do want to start with an iconic animal. I almost said unit. What I'll probably do is leave a central space for our lions. I want it to be the first thing you see when you get in our lions, but they might not be the first thing we implement. That's what's in my head right now, but I'm still sketching, so to speak. On the topic of entrance, actually, one thing that was pointed out as well was that these benches we might actually want to get rid of. Because, I mean, apart from when people walk through them somehow, they are affecting traffic. You can see it's not like it's blocking traffic. They don't get much use. I've seen them used maybe 4 times in this entire playthrough. So let's go ahead and get rid of them. If that makes things move a bit more smoothly in the central area, then that's great. If it doesn't make a difference, no big deal. If people start complaining about energy right when they get here, then that's, I mean, that's a different problem. You are going home. Okay, I was like, why is your energy so low? You're going home. How about people that have come in right now? Also going home. Using the ATM one last time, I'm not going to complain. Are you arriving? Into the Ivory Palace. Okay, you're arriving. Yeah, they come in with decent energy. Ticket price is fair. Oh, another thing that was pointed out was that the kids... This was, I mean, eagle eyes. I didn't notice the pattern. Great pattern recognition. The kids are all saying that ticket price is good, whereas the adults are all saying the ticket price is fair. Oh, okay, here's an adult who thinks it's good as well. And another adult who thinks it's good. You know, just as I compliment the pattern recognition, it seems the pattern has changed. But for the most part, that feels like the situation. So let's go ahead to our ticketing. We haven't changed our ticket prices in so long, but 75 and 55. We could probably pump this up to 65. I think that's fair. Oof, money this year, man. It's not looking very good. 4 stars. What do we get wrong? Sampi stable. Oh, you know what? We probably had a unhappy reindeer. Just the one unhappy reindeer. That's all it takes. Still a big fan of how this entrance works. Ah, I really like this one. I'm really happy with this one. Who's upset and why? And right now, enrichment, sure. Enrichment, sure. That'll be fixed, obviously. It's all, yeah. All good. What's the problem? You know what? The investigation, the inspection must have happened when, like, the animal was thirsty or something very specific, is my guess. All right, are we good to hit play? You know what? Couple things I want to do before we hit play. I was actually asked, like, hey, you should hit play more often. You're kind of paused for a very long time. I think the reason why I've started doing that is become a habit from when every time I hit play, I get like 80 notifications. I feel like there are some things I want to tackle and then hit play, because otherwise I won't get to do all the things that I want to tackle first. You know what I mean? So one of the things I want to tackle is that it was pointed out that we are really hampering the genetic diversity with the bison because our male is only able to procreate with one female. So it would be very wise to actually replace the male. James must go. Varden, I'm pretty sure, will be inbreeding across the board as well. Yes. Okay with Ava, inbreeding, same situation. So both Varden and James must go. Varden's got some great stats. Those are not bad. James, let's release you to the wild. Sure. And Varden. Varden's got some good stats. There we go. Our new alpha, but again, unfortunately, we know the situation there, so to the trade center with you. Now let's go ahead and take a look at animal trading real quick. Get ourselves, not the storage, sorry. Get ourselves a new bison. A new male bison. The name here, good stats, but 7,000. 7,500 for an American bison. Come on. Tempted to get Logan. Represent Wolverine and the Canadian connection. Benjamin here, not bad. Just immunity's kind of low. Bronze, but you know what? I'm tempted to pick up Benjamin. Reasonably priced. Immunity's a little short, but that's nothing we can't tackle. Bronze, even though appeal is lower than this guy who's not bronze, but I guess it's a combination of genes and whatnot. 5,000 is also not bad. Yates is pretty good, but pretty old as well. You know what? Let's go with Benjamin. Let's go with Benjamin and breed upwards, so to speak. Very young and stuff as well. So let's go ahead and adopt you. Again, we as much as I said last session, or maybe it was 2 sessions ago now, as much as I said that we don't need conservation credits to that same degree as before, we do still need to keep in mind that as we move into, like, Africa has, you know, hippos, lions, pygmy hippos. That's what they're called, right? In the game. I'm not using some antiquated term, am I? Okay, I'm not. Oof. I was like, hang on a second. Those of you that know. Those of you that don't know, look it up, I guess. But yeah, so there's a lot of animals that I'm sure are very expensive to acquire. I don't need to check. I need to check now. So as much as I don't need conservation credits, I also do need to consider the near-ish future, right? All right, so the bison situation has been taken care of. It's also been pointed out that the Dall sheep might have a similar situation here. Man, even this, all these enclosures, I'm really happy with the... I can't think of an enclosure that I'm actively unhappy with. Okay, we have the one male over here and a lot of elderly females. Are you able to engage with... This would be inbreeding. Emberly would not be. So Emberly, let's get you off of contraceptives. I thought, yeah, there we go. It wasn't letting me click through. Oh, she's really old though. Yeah, we gotta do something here as well. Maybe get Tyson onto contraceptives. Do these guys have the whole alpha system though, or are they just kind of breed however they want to? Oh, oh man, poor guy's left out. Get down there, get your meal. Go ahead, and we need to... We might want to bring another female in here for Benjamin. Because it doesn't look like they have the whole alpha thing going, right? Easiest way to check is Zoopedia. Where are we? Zoopedia. They are dominant alpha male. Okay, so where is their alpha male? Because there's only the 2 males, I thought. Symington and Benjamin and Tyson. Okay. Symington is this one. He's not the alpha, so Tyson, I guess, is the alpha. Yeah, okay, cool. Didn't even see him with all the snow and everything. Okay, what's your deal, buddy? Inbreeding, offsprings possible, inbreeding. Okay, you know what? We need a new male. Let's get rid of the 3 males over here and get a new one. I think that's the best solution. It's not like they have the best genetics or anything. I think that's the best solution. Oh, Symington. The problem is the females are getting pretty old. I mean, they're not too old. They're not infertile. So it's still an option. So fine, let's go ahead and get all of you into the trade center. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a new male Dall sheep. Or A, B, C, D for Dall sheep. Needs to be a male, right? Yeah. None available. Are you kidding me? Don't do this to me, game. Are you kidding me? Not a single doll sheep is available. Go to the filters. That's impossible. Not one. Where'd you go? Doll sheep. There we go. Wow. Wild. Alright, well, hey, I guess we'll go ahead and buy Pendle then. Gotta do what you gotta do. Not the greatest genes again, but... Gotta do what you gotta do. Over to quarantine for you, buddy. Okay, good stuff. And let's make sure that our females here are off of their contraceptives. Very slim window for some of them to mate. Make sure we take advantage of that. What was one of you? Where's the other one? I just sworn two of them were on contraceptives. That's Zelene taken care of. Oh, Benjamin's team. Right. Fair enough. It's okay, he's on his way out. Alright, so that's the doll sheep taken care of. Also, one last thing? Question mark? Yes. Before we hit play, I mean. Down by this way, over to the creature cavern we must go. Here, apparently, whoops, here. Apparently, we have education board problem. Ah, right, of course, yes. Because when an exhibit gets empty, all the education boards assigned to it, they blank out. And that, if you'll remember, our Brazilian wandering spiders did in fact go empty a handful of sessions ago. We're good across the board. I feel like we have too many of these. I remember that conversation vaguely from last time, so let's go ahead and sort that out. But otherwise, I think we're overall okay for our exhibit animals. All right, let's go ahead and hit play. See how the animals are feeling. See if we have any major emergencies coming up. We might need to do the option, let's call it, for Flamingo Park. Feeling necessary. But play we shall hit. Hopefully things will go well. Money also is something that's looking pretty tight. All right, we got some stressed out animals over here. Let's see. Yeah, see, Buddy is stressed over here. He is very close to his friends. He's right by the edge. No one can see him. Like, there's no reason for the stress, but he's de-stressing now. Okay, great. I mean, that takes time, right? So, over here, you're stressed, but you're de-stressing. You're stressed out. You're right in the middle of the path, so you're stressed out. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Go hide somewhere. Let me see how that changes. Stress continues to skyrocket. Well, sure, now we got a flamingo that's chilling in the central space over here, hanging out by the heart. Pretty cute, actually. This is what I want more of. I didn't realize they're such shy animals. Like, I know they're shy, but, like, I don't think any other animal is like this. Oh, you know what I forgot, actually? Over by the Japanese macaque. It's been pointed out... I mean, so here's the thing. This thing has not been used in 12 months. Keepers typically fill up the... oh, what are they called? Enrichment food items first. This is still reachable by the keeper. But I could try to move it somewhere else. Like, I could move it just by the edge over here. And hope that, I mean, the reason why we moved it in the first place was because we didn't want people to step on it, right? But hopefully this, like... Whoa. Recalculation. Hopefully this, is that sweet middle ground where nobody steps on it, and the keeper is able to reach it. Let's go ahead and call the keeper to the habitat, actually. Jeez. There we go, call keeper to the habitat. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that we've decided to make our transition to Elite Zoo South at, like, the perfect time. Things are starting to get so laggy and chuggy. Even when I'm time-lapsing, even when everything's paused and I'm just building things, sometimes it'll be like, yeah, give me 30 seconds before I put this wooden panel down. Alright, hopefully we start seeing some action over here. How are these people liking this, by the way? Education is so low. Education is included providing information through boards, speakers, and audio guides. Better educated guests will spend more cash. Great, but, like, we've got... I guess we don't really have education over there, but if you walk through here, you're going to get some education. It's at 26%. They're viewing the springs. It's not gone up yet. Oh, hey, they're playing with the lattice. They're playing with the actual, the donation lattice. Jungle gym, whatever you want to call it. That's funny. That's adorable. So happy to see that. Oh, by the way, it was pointed out to me that there is another way of pronouncing this. So I assumed it's either Xavier or Xavier, but there's also Javier, which I didn't think about because I'm used to seeing Javier with a J. on a mission to learn how to say names properly. Now, see, now these guys, meanwhile, their education's at 100%. And I get how it works, but I wish I could see it broken down a bit more. Like, okay, let's see. You've not seen any of the animals you want to see. Your education is low. All right, let's find someone who has seen some of the animals I want to see. So you've seen the gharial. This is why shortcuts are important, by the way. So some of y'all were asking, like, oh, why does this shortcut with the Flamingo Park matter so much? The Alva here wants to see so many animals, but they've only seen the gharial. Now, I don't know why they're wasting their time up over here at the springs if they don't even want to see these animals. But they might be leaving later this year. They're almost done their visit. It says predicted visit, so I don't know if that's a flexible date, but that's why you want to make sure that these guys are able to see everything they want to see. Education's at 100%. A happy, healthy Japanese macaque. They're happy. I mean, I'm sure it's working fine. I'm sure it's working perfectly fine, and it all makes sense, and I'm sure it's very well thought out. I'm not complaining about or criticizing or questioning the mechanics and the systems. I just wish I had a more clear representation of how things tie together. Seems that our A-star male is about to mature. Got to keep an eye out on that. Because these guys, they came through the Japanese macaque habitat. Their education's super low. They weren't even interested in seeing the animal. So they've come all the way here without having checked out the Komodo dragon first. So my assumption is they came to the train station over here and now are on the way to the Komodo dragon down over here, but made a stop over here en route. Before that, though, they're going to go to Makako Taco. Can't blame them for that. Animal passed away over here. Yuvetia. They are farewells. Get a vet. We do have a couple animals passing their quarantine, I thought I saw. Also, vet research complete. That would be the Arctic wolf. Excellent. Soon we'll be able to get them better food as well. Oh, by the way, I should point out that I do have, I have seen the repeated staff naming and animal sponsorship requests. I will not be doing that today. I'll be doing that soon. I want to give people enough time to, kind of get their requests in and stuff for the last, exclusive to Elite Zoo North go. So bear with me. I will do it very soon, but just want to make sure people have enough time. Right? I don't want, like I said before, I think I stressed this last session. I try not to have people feel left behind or anything like that, right? Now, one thing I could do to improve education is, again, advanced research is something that does that. But I really want to understand. Apparently, you can get your money back if you pop the loose balloons. It'll be hard to keep a track, but there you go. Right. So I want to see. I want to try and get a better understanding of this whole guest happiness and education thing, particularly. Like, are you okay? Were you here? Well, no, you didn't want to see the tiger. First of all, who comes to a zoo with tigers so easily visible and then decides they don't want to see a tiger? I'm not gonna judge. Maybe you just came here 4 years ago and and saw them. But okay. You don't want to see the tigers either. You don't want to see the tigers either. It's just like you could have been. The Brazilian wandering spider is so easy to get to from the entrance of the zoo. Why didn't you go there first? Just don't understand it. Wants to see. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you chase it then? Now you're over here, viewing Bagraba. Fair enough. Dangerous animals escaped. Little wolf has gotten out. Oh, what a cutie. Come on, buddy. Get back down. Don't want to box you up. Get back down. Come on. Be a good boy. Be a good boy. There we go. Now we know the path of escape as well. Oh my. Okay, this is a problem. Did you see that jump? I wish I'd seen that in full color, but I'm glad we caught it at least. Alright, well, hey. Glad we checked. Go ahead and... Well, it's not going to do the trick. Pause this. No, it's not going to do the trick either. Alright, let's do it the old-fashioned way. Do that. Then I should be able to flatten the surface. There we go. Alright, hopefully that at least blocks some of this stuff off. Not sure why. There we go. A little bit of floating terrain never killed anybody, right? But we'll clear it up, don't worry. Not necessarily a fan of how this is looking. You know what? I actually worry that they'll count that as that dip as an escape as well. I mean, I'm not worried. I know they will, so let's go ahead and undo all that. Went a little too ambitious with my digging there, I think. But undo, come on now. Yeah, you see how even the undoing is taking so much longer lately? Alright. Go ahead and flatten you, there we go. So this is all still good. You flattened out. Alright, excellent, excellent, excellent. Good. Oh no, we're good. That fixed that itself. Alright, cool. Then back over here, we saw a bunch of escape possibilities as well. The thing is, it's just a couple of points that it can gain access to that high ground. At that point, it's over. As we very well know. At that point, they can go anywhere. Oh man, look at the little puppers. They were born recently, right? I don't remember seeing them. And I could be mistaken, but I don't remember looking at them up close. Now, I know this is an adult, but honestly, doesn't make a difference. They're still cute. Where's our buddy? Where'd he go? There he is. Oh, so cute, so camouflaged. Alright. Yeah, they were born very recently. Let's unpause here, and we'll just check our, I want to smooth this out a little bit, but I just want to check, well, it doesn't make sense to check escape routes until we smoothed it out. Go ahead, pull this up a bit. There we go. Don't think that's potential for escape, but just in case. Cool. The lag is wild. Alright. What are we looking at here? Traversable area. Let it reset. Do a quick check. Inspector has arrived. How's that? Oh, okay. I see how that's an escape. That's fine. Anything else? Any other escape routes? Yeah, a couple over here. A lot over here. Fair. Oh my god, the whole thing over here. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Only one point at which they can traverse, though, which is over here. 2 points, I guess. So let's go ahead and... Actually, it might just be the one. That's not actually connected. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and smooth that out. Smooth this out as well. Or, I say smooth, but I mean make it more steep. Done and done. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, no, they can still get up over here. Oh, they can jump from over here, eh? Okay, fair enough. I mean, damn, if they can do that, I almost feel like I should let them. Not actually, obviously. How are we looking over here? We're fine over here. I do wish, like, trees and stuff didn't hide the icons. The icons are kind of more important than anything else. Alright, so this thing needs to be adjusted, because that's going to be a problem otherwise. Over here, all we need to do is just kind of pull this out, because it's just a bit of overlap. Yeah, see, it's just... Or not overlap, but... It just digs in through the barrier, past where the line is. So that should do the trick there. Yeah, beautiful. That's all done. This. I think it's adorable that they can make that jump, but that's obviously a problem. Go ahead and drop you. As much as I want the animal to be able to come up over here, and I like the idea of that, evidently it's going to be a bit of a problem. Let's see if that did the trick. Where are you, buddy? Oh, it's dark. Those lights on. So serene. It's so serene, I say. And then, of course, the game wouldn't have it any other way. What are the chances, man? What are the chances every time? Ah, yes, look at the beauty of nature. Hey, his name's Nanook. No kidding. Decent stats, too. What a cutie. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Sorry, we were looking for escape routes, right? Swimming around, having a good time. Looks like, you know what? Looks like they did the trick. That slight adjustment did the trick. All right, wonderful. Now they can't make the jump. Beautiful. Perfect. Because they can still get up there, but they just can't make the jump. Exactly what I want. I mean, do we just spend some time? No, 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 no. We don't spend some time. Overpopulation over here. As well as some escaped animals, potentially. Alright, Dewey and Ningrat. Let's go ahead and figure the trade center. What is your problem? Why are you so upset? Yo, this is awesome. You're not escaped or anything. This is great. This is exactly what I created this tunnel for. Imagine being down here right now and looking up at that. Look at that. That's the exact intent of this tunnel. To have moments like that. That's dope. Oh, I'm so happy to see that. Ooh, we have a little bit of an issue over here. Where are you getting snow? Temperature, I guess, will give us an idea. I guess we're getting snow over here. In the corner over there. Everything else is pretty well covered. No, we have a little spot over here, it seems. Take care of that as well. Alright, now, did I have an escaped animal? Because people were running around. I don't see an escaped animal, though. I don't know why people were running around. Maybe they didn't like seeing the animals fight. Shaw, let's get you on research duty with what? Something that everyone kind of crosses past, maybe, is the best idea. Elephants are pretty popular. Maybe we help the polar bear. Grizzly bear already has the advanced research going on. Pretty sure the Bengal tiger does as well. Shaw, let's keep you on the Siberian tiger. Pronghorn antelopes have overcrowding now as well. Alright, fair enough. Oh, Olivia's gotten too old, eh? Pronghorn antelope. Oh my, everyone here is too old. Oh, this is bad. Everyone who's elderly. I'm gonna scoop all of you up. And release you to the wild. That includes Wakefield or Alpha. Now, of who's left? Tyler. I think we need a new male over here as well. Are you able to breed with anybody? I don't think so. Inbreeding. One option. Inbreeding. 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 Yeah, okay. So, you know what? Tyler. Release. Or actually, you know what? Tyler, what kind of genes do you have? You know, they're not bad. They're not bad. So let's go ahead and put you into the trade center. Let's get ourselves a new male pronghorn antelope as well. It's time for a refresh. This is part of what I should have done last session, part of what I should be doing this session. But hey, we're doing it now. Bit by bit, piecemeal as it becomes relevant, I guess. At least we're doing it. Pronghorn antelope. LMNOPQR. Here you are. Symington, good stats, not too expensive. Benjamin, ooh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yep, no reason to wait. 1 minute was all that was left there. 1 minute was all that was left there. Let's go ahead and get you into... Where are we? Disoriented myself there. Into the quarantine. Good stuff. How are animals doing? Serious injury on Philippe. Oh, are they fighting for Alpha? Okay, hang on here. Because a bunch of them just matured, right? So go ahead and get all of you into the trade center. Philippe was injured enough to be taken to the vet. That's unfortunate. Everybody goes to the trade center. Philippe comes back. He lives his life out at the zoo. And then eventually Manuel takes his place. All the others get traded out. Manuel comes through. We need to get a new female for Manuel, right? He's related to everybody over here. Look at all the tortoises. Oh my god. We're not going to need new like, mates for a while. Emberly has passed away. Vet in here. Say our farewell. Tucked away in this upper area over here. It's really nice, again, just to see them moving around and using the whole space that we've developed for them. I'm really happy with how these things are being used. En route to the Ivory Palace. Summer, how are you doing? Oh, adorably is how you're doing. But he's pretty happy overall. So cute. Such a cutie. Baby elephants. They look so klutzy and so clumsy. Leaving us a little gift here. Here I am calling you cute. That's what you do for me. Alright, what about over at Flamingo Park? I mean, Malika. I mean, as long as Malika's not stressed when the checkup happens, I guess, right? Can't even find you in the bunch. And we'll tell. The Red Keep. Over to see Luli. Dreaming of being an Evel Knievel over here, trying to clear this gap, maybe. Very happy as well. Yo, our animal's doing quite well, I would say, overall. Ayan, how are you, buddy? Ooh, nah. I was like, are you, should I give you some privacy? Also super happy, doing super well. The Oasis Outpost. Humpy, how are you, buddy? How are you? Also great. Alright, so all of our animals are doing fantastic. The wild card is the flamingo, obviously, that they might be stressed out when the inspection happens, but it's going to take the inspector some time to move around. Anyway, stress, I mean, hasn't come up since the beginning of this session, right? If I'm not mistaken. So, maybe we're close, or maybe I've just jinxed it and it'll be a problem again in like 30 seconds. We'll find out together. We'll find out together as we often do. Feeling pretty good, though. I think we've done all of our management stuff that I'd noted down. Happy with how our money is going, kind of. It's not fantastic, but it's not as bad as last year. Again, when we go paused and we build a bunch of spaces, that's bound to happen, right? You're bound to see money drop. Not like we make money while paused. How are the crowds over here, actually? Are there any crowds over here is the question I should be asking. Just a few people just got out, actually. Anybody come up over here? Now that more people are using the trains. I'd like to see that, actually. I doubt it. Wait. Did you arrive only to get back on the train? Are you kidding me? Go to where? Nihonzaru Springs. Didn't even check these guys out? Rude. Rude. There are views down here as well, so maybe they'll... It's interesting to try and figure out what their pathing logic is. Education 100%. How? Where? Why? Doesn't say anything. For education. Oh well, it is what it is. That's a pretty fun looking ride. Got some good views, that's for sure. That's for sure. Alright, folks. Solid session, I think. Made some good progress. We've completed our Southeast Asian, or our East Southeast Asian feeding area for our people, for our guests. The sun is looking absolutely glorious, casting those long, beautiful shadows. Our animals seem to be doing well. The flamingos haven't panicked since the beginning of this session, it feels like. Things are going all right. So I'm going to call it a session over here. I hope you all enjoyed this one. There's still lots to do, but we're getting stuff done. I mean, gaps are being filled up. Areas are being concluded. Guests are moving around. Happy. Money's being made. It's feeling pretty good. But, of course, y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment. If you did not enjoy the session, leave a comment. Let me know what I could do to make things better. We do have a little bit of croc block action going on over here, but I guess if I can select you from up over here. Sure. That should help. Folks, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. You keep us alive and running smoothly. And a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time. Cheers.